Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're trying to keep up with everything happening in the digital world right now, you probably feel pulled in two directions.
Absolutely. It's exciting, the pace of change, but at the same time,
You're just drowning, right? Information overload, interfaces that make no sense, tools that don't talk to each other.
exactly. Digital transformation is the buzzword, but often it feels like something happened to us, not for us.
Yeah, inflicted upon us. That's a good way to put it.
And that fragmentation, that's the real killer. Just trying to do basic things online, collaborate, buy something, even prove who you are. It's like navigating this maze, different logins, different protocols.
It's exhausting. And it kills trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially on a global scale. You end up spending more time managing the tools than actually creating value.
Precisely. Which brings us to today's deep dive. We've got this really comprehensive source document detailing what sounds like a pretty revolutionary digital ecosystem.
One that claims to fix this exact problem. It wants to redefine how we interact with technology, fundamentally. We are digging into Victory with Ash.
And the claims are, well, they're huge. The source doesn't just call it a platform. It says it's a universal system, intelligent, adaptive, and magnificently human-centered.
Magnificently human-centered. That phrase alone tells you the ambition here is off the charts. It's not just about code.
Definitely not. It signals something much bigger.
So that's a massive claim. And our mission today is basically to give you the shortcut. We want to unpack how they plan to actually deliver on that promise.
Right. We need to look at the philosophy behind it, the tech that supposedly makes it work, and, the impact it's already having. Is it really this new blueprint for intelligent living?
And it all seems to start with this one core question, doesn't it?
Yep.
From the leader, Ash Mufareh.
Yes, that's the anchor. The source puts it right up front.
The question being, what if technology could not only serve people, but truly elevate them? And there's a real difference there. Serve is about efficiency, making tasks easier.
But elevate, that's about potential, right? Creativity, purpose, human growth. It's a completely different starting point.
It really is. It shifts the whole goal.
It's the difference between technology as just a tool versus technology as maybe a partner. The source defines Victory with Ash exactly like that. A next-gen ecosystem where AI meets humanity, aiming for collective elevation.
Okay, and it mentions carrying the DNA of ONPASSIVE. What does that mean in this context?
It means those core ONPASSIVE ideas, automation, transparency, fairness, unity, are baked in. But Victory with Ash apparently takes that foundation and expands it into this living system.
A living system connecting everyone, users, creators, businesses.
Yeah, into one big adaptive network. That's the vision.
So the promise isn't just easier or faster. It's about making our lives more productive, more secure, more meaningful even. Technology aiming for collective elevation.
That's the pitch. And our job is to see if the engineering, the actual nuts and bolts, can support that kind of, well, almost spiritual ambition.
Right. Does the tech match the philosophy? If we get that core idea, moving from just optimizing workflow to optimizing human potential, then maybe the architecture makes more sense.
Exactly. It explains why they keep using words like magnificence. It's tied to that human-centered goal.
Okay, let's dig into that philosophy more, because the big problem they say they're tackling first is digital friction. The complex logins, the endless steps.
This stuff that drives everyone crazy. And their core principle to fight that is simplicity meets genius.
Which sounds great, but also, a bit like marketing speak. How do they actually achieve simplicity when they're aiming for a universal system? Usually, universal means complicated.
That's the standard failure mode, right?
Yeah.
Bloat,
Oh, yeah.
complexity. The source tackles this head-on, though. It points to something called one-click clarity.
One-click clarity, so that's their solution to confusing interfaces.
Apparently, it's framed as a core design rule, not just a nice-to-have feature. The idea is to make everything intuitive, even with massive functionality behind it.
Okay, but how? How do you keep it clear when you're integrating so much? It must start with identity, right? Making sure you only have to prove who you are once, securely.
Absolutely. Identity is the bedrock of digital trust. And they claim seamless, instant verification using advanced O-Verify integration.
O-Verify, so that's their proprietary identity solution.
Seems like it. Think about how many times a day you have to prove who you are, online banking, signing things, joining calls. O-Verify is meant to handle all that frictionlessly.
So one secure layer verifies you once, and that trust carries across all the integrated services.
That's the idea. It eliminates the need for dozens of different logins and endless ID checks, which is huge for saving time, obviously, but also for security. Fewer logins mean fewer attack points.
Right, makes sense. So once you've got that verified identity, what about the flow of data, especially sensitive stuff like money or private information?
That's the next critical piece. The secure flow is managed through other integrated tools. O-Wallet for the financial side, instant global payments, and O-Connect for the communication and collaboration aspect.
Okay, so OWallet and OConnect rely on that O-Verify foundation.
Exactly. Whether you're paying someone, getting paid, or joining a huge online meeting, the path is already verified and secured because it's all part of the same trusted ecosystem. That integration is the simplicity it's architected in.
Unified and secure. Okay, that explains the genius part of simplicity meets geniuses. But then the source says something even more abstract. It talks about design compassion.
Yeah, that one definitely raises an eyebrow. The source says the genius isn't just in the code, but in its compassion. What does that even mean for software?
Right. Can code be compassionate? We need to dig into how they define that. It can't just be a fuzzy feeling.
The source defines it as a design philosophy that keeps the human absolutely central. It's not just about reacting to clicks. It's about proactively understanding and helping the user.
So it's more than just user-friendly.
Much more. According to the source, a compassionate system does 3 key things. First, it actively understands user needs by learning from behavior. Second, it predicts opportunities for that user. And third, it adapts intelligently to help them succeed faster and easier.
Okay, so it's proactive. It's trying to anticipate what you need before you even ask, like a mentor.
That's a great analogy. It acts like a smart, tireless mentor who knows your goals. So if you're struggling with, say, marketing...
Instead of giving me a help manual.
Right. A compassionate system using its AI sees you're struggling, anticipates the issue, and maybe automatically sets up a campaign template optimized for your specific situation. It makes sure your energy goes into the creative part, not the technical troubleshooting.
That is a profound difference. It frees up mental energy.
Exactly. And that leads directly to the next big philosophical point, equality of access. This connects the compassion idea to real-world impact.
They emphasize this one strongly, right? Ensuring everyone gets the same level of tech.
Yes. The source is explicit. A student in Nairobi or an entrepreneur in New York, same access. Equal, fair, powerful technology for everyone, which is a huge challenge given, global differences in internet speed, hardware.
Yeah, how do they handle that? Especially with advanced AI, which usually needs a lot of processing power.
The implication is that the really heavy stuff, the AI computations, the O-Connect streaming, the O-Virtual encryption, happens mostly on their end within the system's infrastructure.
Ah, so the user just needs a decent connection to the interface, not a supercomputer at home.
That seems to be the model. It levels the playing field. Your location or your wallet shouldn't dictate whether you can access cutting-edge tools. It's an infrastructure choice to make that equality possible.
That sets a baseline of power for everyone. Okay, that philosophical rigor, simplicity, compassion, equality, it sets the stage for the practical rules of the system.
Exactly. These are the operational standards that supposedly make the philosophy real.
Right, the 4 pillars. And the source insists these aren't just slogans, but lived realities coded into the DNA of the system. Actual guardrails.
They have to be if they want to achieve that elevation goal Ashmi Farah talks about. Let's start with pillar 1, automation with compassion. We touched on this, but what's the key difference from normal automation?
Well, typically automation is about cutting costs, maybe replacing people, which creates fear.
Right. But automation with compassion, according to this, flips it. The system does the heavy lifting to free up the human.
Freeing them up for what exactly?
Creativity, family, community service. The source is specific. The system handles the repetitive, frustrating stuff, admin work, complex marketing setups, data syncing.
So you stop being an administrator and get to be a creator or a leader. That's a totally different value proposition than most business software.
It's about giving back time and mental energy, making technology serve human purpose, not the other way around. Okay, pillar 2, transparency with trust. This is huge, given how little trust there is online these days.
Yeah, black box algorithms, data breaches. How does Victory with Ash specifically address restoring trust?
The commitment is radical openness. Every transaction, every commission payment, every system update is designed to be open, traceable, and fair. No hidden calculations.
So the system itself is designed to prevent manipulation, like technologically enforced honesty.
That seems to be the goal. Especially for a global system where you can't just rely on local laws to ensure fairness, the tech has to build the trust.
Okay, that makes sense. Pillar 3, Innovation with inclusion. We talked about global equality, but this sounds more active. Innovation for everyone.
Yes, the promise is clear. No region, no background, no language is left behind. It's a deliberate choice to make sure breakthroughs benefit everyone immediately.
Not just the wealthy areas or the tech hubs.
Exactly. Usually, innovation trickles down slowly. Here, they claim inclusion is coded in, so new AI features or faster communication speeds roll out to everyone at once.
That implies a massive commitment to things like translation, localization, making the interface truly universal.
Which loops right back to that intelligent simplicity idea. It has to be globally usable from day one. Okay, pillar 4. This might be the most radical one. Success with sharing, profit meets purpose.
This is that collective elevation idea in practice. As one rises, all rise. But how does a tech company actually build sharing into its structure? That goes against the usual model.
Totally. Normally, profit is kept at the top, success is competitive. Here, the structure itself seems designed so that benefit flows back into the network.
How, though? Does the source give specifics?
It doesn't give exact percentages in this overview, but the implication is strong. Success isn't just a side effect, it's integral. Value or profit generated by successful members somehow feeds back, maybe rewarding others, improving the system for all, or providing resources for newcomers.
So it's structurally designed to encourage collaboration over competition, a collective abundance model.
That's the concept. Technologically enforcing integrity over greed, as the source puts it, aiming for the people's victory.
Okay, these pillars are powerful ideas. Now, how do they connect to the actual ONPASSIVE tools mentioned? OWallet, OConnect.
Right. This is where philosophy becomes function. These tools operate under these pillars. We've got OWallet, OConnect, OPeer, OChat, and OVirtual.
Let's break those down. Communication first. OConnect and OChat.
OConnect is their big-scale live platform. Think huge conferences, global classes, built for secure, traceable communication, fitting that transparency pillar. OChat is the internal messaging tool, secure, end-to-end encrypted, keeping conversations within the verified ecosystem. That hits trust and inclusion.
Makes sense. And the financial and networking parts. OWallet and OPeer.
OWallet is the engine for those instant, borderless payments and commissions. It's the mechanism that makes success with sharing actually work fast, getting rid of banking delays. OPeer is their peer-to-peer solution, but built on OVerify, so interactions and exchanges between users are authenticated and secure, unlike many P2P networks.
So a trusted environment for direct collaboration and maybe even transactions between members.
Exactly. And wrapping around all of this is the security layer, OVirtual.
The invisible guardian.
Right. It provides the end-to-end encryption and security architecture for everything OConnect, OChat, OWallet. It ensures the whole system stays secure and adheres to the transparency and trust standards.
So these 5 tools, all integrated and working under those ethical pillars, that sets the stage for the technology itself.
Yeah, the fortress of advanced AI engineering that supposedly makes the user experience effortless.
Right, effortless. But as you said, that masks some serious engineering complexity, what the source called magnificent. Let's start with the core brain. The AI automation engine. This drives the adaptability.
It's way beyond simple rules. It's the core intelligence layer, constantly learning and adapting dynamically. It watches user behavior, looks at environmental data, checks global success metrics.
To do what exactly? Personalize the experience.
Deeply personalize it. It's not just suggesting an article you might like. It's modeling your entire journey against successful patterns worldwide.
Can you give an example?
Okay, say the AI identifies you as an entrepreneur focused on education in Brazil. It would instantly tweak your dashboard, prioritize OConnect features, maybe localize marketing templates using AI translation or even media generation, and suggest specific connections via OPeer who've succeeded in similar markets.
Whoa. So it's actively optimizing your path based on who you are and what works globally.
That's the idea. Personalization aimed at maximizing your efficiency and inclusion simultaneously. That's how it tries to deliver on that design compassion, removing roadblocks before you even hit them.
Okay, that level of intelligence needs a rock-solid foundation.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to OVerify, the global verification layer. We know it handles identity, but how is it better than other methods, especially for global security and finance?
Well, the system aims for global transactions via OWallet, so fraud prevention has to be top tier. The source implies OVerify uses multiple layers, maybe biometrics, digital signatures, possibly even some decentralized ledger checks to confirm identity and transaction legitimacy across different countries and rules.
So the trust isn't just assumed, it's built in mathematically.
Computationally enforced. That's crucial for people trading or collaborating across borders without traditional safety nets.
And the actual money movement happens via OWallet integration.
Hmm.
You mentioned instant borderless payments being key for success with sharing.
Exactly. If, as one rises, all rise is the model, you can't have people waiting days for international transfers. OWallet uses efficient protocols to make payments and commissions immediate globally. It bypasses the usual banking friction. It's the rapid distribution network for that shared value.
Got it. Now, supporting this global family requires massive infrastructure. What about OConnect Live infrastructure? How does it handle huge conferences or classes better than, say, Zoom or Teams?
The key difference seems to be optimization for variable global bandwidth. Tying back to that inclusion pillar, it's engineered for low latency, high-def streaming, even if many users have slower connections.
So unlike platforms where low bandwidth users get a terrible experience,
OConnect supposedly manages data compression and delivery dynamically to maintain quality for everyone, even at massive scale, thousands of participants, the source suggests. Connectivity itself shouldn't be a barrier.
that's a major technical commitment to inclusion. And all this tech is protected by security, by OVirtual,
Yes, the overall security architecture, the invisible guardian.
providing end-to-end encryption everywhere.
That's the claim, across OConnect, OChat, OWallet data flows. Because it's integrated from the start, it secures the entire user journey from the OVerify login onwards. Not just point-to-point connections, it maintains the integrity of the whole ecosystem.
Okay, so we've got this AI engine, global verification, instant payments, massive scale communication, all wrapped in security. It brings us to that paradox of complexity. It sounds incredibly complex underneath, but the goal is an effortless user experience.
And that paradox is the ultimate goal of the design philosophy. Usually, complexity creates friction. The source argues the AI's predictive power and the seamless integration of all these tools mean the user never has to deal with the underlying complexity.
So it's like using a smartphone. You don't need to understand the operating system kernel to use the apps.
Precisely. You don't need to be an expert in AI or encryption to succeed. The system handles it behind the scenes, anticipating needs, translating, securing, moving money. The tech serves the philosophy of eliminating friction and maximizing human output. That's the magnificence they're aiming for.
Selling back people's time and mental clarity, not just software features. That is powerful. Okay, let's shift from the tech specs to the human results. What about the adoption rate?
While that technical sophistication seems to have hit a nerve, the record-breaking user growth was apparently immediate.
How immediate? What are the numbers?
The source states Victory with Ash onboarded over 100,000 verified users within hours of launch, verified by OVerify.
Wow, in hours. That's not typical for new platforms. What does that speed tell you?
It tells me the market wasn't just curious, it was ready. People were likely desperate for an integrated, trustworthy system that promised simplicity. That rapid uptake, especially with verification built in, suggests the pain points of friction and mistrust were very real.
The source called it destiny meeting readiness. Kind of poetic, but it fits.
It does. And who joined initially? The source identifies diverse user archetypes: entrepreneurs looking for a global reach without the hassle, educators needing better scalable tools, youth movements wanting secure platforms, and just general dreamers looking for tech that aligns with ethical progress.
That mix shows broad appeal, commercial, educational, social. The force also talks about each member being a node of transformation. What's that about?
It reinforces that sharing ethos. Users aren't just consumers, they're active contributors. Their ideas, energy, creativity add to the whole living ecosystem. If each user adds value, the system's potential grows exponentially. It ties back to success with sharing.
Okay, connecting this to young people specifically. The source positions this system as crucial for youth at a crossroads, facing digital opportunity, but also economic uncertainty, right?
Absolutely. For so many young people, especially outside wealthy nations, there's a huge gap between having a phone and having the actual digital capital, the tools, the know-how, the connections to build a future. Victory with Ash claims to bridge that gap with specific empowerment pathways.
Let's lay those out. How does it empower them practically?
Okay, 4 main ways according to the source. First, creating income. Using AI-assisted entrepreneurship and media tools, letting them monetize skills while the AI handles the admin. Second, accessing education, using OConnect for personalized global learning.
So economic and educational uplift. What else?
Third, connecting globally safely, using the verified OPeer and OChat community, tackling online safety and identity issues. And fourth, growing dreams, getting AI mentorship on scaling, visibility, market entry. The AI acts as a guide, not just a task manager.
It all seems to point towards this idea of democratization of potential. That Nairobi student having the same power as the New York entrepreneur. The core message is potential depends on imagination, not location or wealth.
That's the revolutionary part. It aims to provide the digital capital that tools, visibility, AI help, regardless of whether you have financial capital. It removes that huge barrier to entry that stops so many talented young people. It's infrastructure for ambition.
And is there proof this is working on the ground? Any tangible examples?
Yes, the source specifically mentions communities like the Ganga Youth's Revolution movement using the system and seeing real results, pathways for empowerment, job creation, sustainable growth.
So not just theory, what were they actually doing with the platform?
It sounds like a combination of things, using OConnect for large-scale organizing and workshops reaching thousands, and then leveraging tools like OWallet and OPeer for local, verified micro-projects and shared success initiatives. It shows the system can be an engine for grassroots economic change.
Moving people from uncertainty to contribution. That focus on human results really emphasizes the magnificence theme. Okay, let's look ahead. What's the ultimate vision of victory, and where does it expand next?
Well, the definition of victory itself is tied to that philosophy of collective elevation. Ash Mufarah's vision. Success has to be shared, not hoarded. That's the victory condition.
And how does the system handle recognition? Rewarding early believers versus keeping things fair for newcomers.
The source says founders get recognized for their loyalty, which makes sense. You need to reward early risk. But crucially, new users still get full, equal access. It tries to balance recognizing commitment with maintaining that core pillar of inclusion. The goal remains the people's victory, integrity over greed, collaboration over competition.
It's the ideological endpoint. If the tech is built on sharing, its success must be measured by the collective benefit.
Exactly. And interestingly, the source claims the system changes how people feel, not just how they live or work. That's a bold claim.
An emotional impact from technology. How does that work? New confidence, creative energy. Where does that come from?
It comes from removing the stress. When you eliminate the complexity, the fear of fraud, the admin drudgery, thanks to compassionate automation and security like OVirtual and OVerify, people relax. They feel secure.
So the confidence comes from knowing your identity is safe, your money is handled transparently via OWallet. That certainty frees up mental space.
Precisely. That mental bandwidth, that security, allows creativity and purpose to flourish. The source gives real examples of this.
Like the ones we touched on.
Yeah, small business owners getting hours back by automating marketing with the AI engine. Teachers using OConnect to reach students worldwide they never could before. Marginalized groups, mothers, students, retirees finding safe ways to join the digital economy, overcoming old barriers.
It sounds like tech actually delivering on that original promise of empowerment. Okay, so what's next? The future, infinite expansion. The source talks about becoming a meta ecosystem, a digital bloodstream. What does that mean in terms of features?
It means deeper integration into basically everything digital. First, cross-platform AI integrations. The AI won't just work inside Victory with Ash. It'll help users create, translate, and trade across the entire internet.
Wow, extending its reach outwards. What about media?
Big plans there. Global media broadcasting via Victory Studios. This looks like a major move into content creation and distribution using OConnect's capacity to give a global platform to those voices, the youth movements, the educators.
Becoming a media powerhouse itself?